And you need to work it no matter what. I know that what's going to come up is I don't have enough time. Do it anyway. I know that's what's going to come up is I don't have enough skill. Do it anyway. I know that you're going to not feel like it. Do it no matter your feelings. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you, I support you, I don't really care what you're feeling right now. Do the plan. Now again, I'm not trying to discount your feelings, but understand your feelings don't tell you the truth. Your feelings tell you what you believe. And guess what? Your beliefs don't tell you the truth either. They just tell you your best guess at reality. So your beliefs aren't telling you the truth, your feelings aren't telling you the truth, and that you're yet letting yourself be determined by that. And it's categorized as a disease now. It's called emotional reasoning. It's that when we reason based on how we feel. It's like you want to write a book or a script or whatever, and you sit down to do it, or it comes time to do it. You've got it on your plan to write for 1 hour, or write 10 pages or 500 words, and you're like, I just don't feel inspired. So when you start to feel that, you're going to hear my voice now saying, I love you, I support you, and I don't care what you feel. Do it anyways. Do it anyways, no matter your feelings. And there's a reason for this, because we've been taught to believe that we wait for inspiration, then we do activity. And that's the outside-in approach. And as I teach, life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. You are the source of infinite inspiration. It's not out there going to fall on top of you. And it's not limited at all. As you start to act like an inspired person, inspiration becomes activated. As you start to act like a confident person, confidence gets activated in you. Okay? So do it no matter what you're feeling, and notice that it starts to activate the good feelings. And by the way, some days you may still not feel good, and you might actually end up doing some of your best work. You've ever had those experiences where if you're a very creative person, you just think it's the greatest thing you've ever created, and you wake up the next morning and you read it and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible, right? Or you've been creating something, it just feels difficult, and you're struggling through it and slogging through it, and you look at it the next day, you just think it was horrible, right? And you look at it the next day and you're like, oh my God, this is like some of my best work. Again, you can't trust your feelings to tell you the truth. You can use them as a very valuable guidance system to knowing what you believe and whether you're in alignment with your highest vision, because you'll feel good if you are, but they don't tell you the truth. So don't let them determine your actions. You have the dominion over your attention. You have dominion. So that means that regardless of what you're feeling, you can still choose to act however you want to choose. Or that's also the real meaning of responsibility, the ability to respond. Between stimulus and reaction, there's a gap. In that gap is your ability to respond. So you're not a victim of your feelings, you're not a victim of your thoughts. So if you've created a plan, and you have a vision rooted in your values, and you've made it a priority, and you've done the work to create that plan, then regardless of how you feel, honor and respect yourself so much that you're going to do the work that you planned on, whether you feel like it or not. If you've planned to go to the gym because part of your plan is getting in better shape, I don't care if you're tired, and you shouldn't either. Go do what you planned on. Now again, a caveat, because I know some of you are saying, but Derek, what if I'm really sick or something? What if I'm going to do more damage? What if I'm burned out? Yes, sometimes we really have done too much work, or we really do need a break, and of course you have to plan and schedule in your plan renewal time, as Covey calls it, sharpening the saw, and as I have you doing on a daily basis, meditation practices, daily. You have to take the time to rest and to rejuvenate, of course. So when your ego starts telling you that, just stand back and really look at that and see, is that really what's going on? Am I really exhausted? Am I really burnt out? Is this really about rest and renewal for me, or is this just really resistance? Because I got to tell you, most of the time, it's just resistance. It's just an old pattern of inertia that's stopping you from moving out of your comfort zone. And again, if you've had this experience, you had a long day at work or whatever, and you're too tired to go to the gym, but you do it anyway, or you wake up in the morning and you're too tired to go for your jog, but you do it anyway, you feel so much better and energized afterwards. Am I right? So, the same thing. You don't feel inspired to do your writing or your creative work, you do it anyway, you feel inspired by it. You feel too tired to work out, you do it anyway, you have more energy. You don't feel like really taking the time to pick up the phone or sit down with this person as you've planned and really have that intimate conversation that's important, but you do it anyway, and miracles happen. Do it anyway. Okay? So, again, this is just reiterating what I've said. You do it no matter what the experience is, no matter what the conditions are. And you do it no matter what the excuse. We've gone over those excuses, okay? I'm just trying to really drive this home. This is mastery. Because really the difference between those that ultimately accomplish and achieve and those that don't is those that don't are victims of their mental and emotional reactions, a victim of their conditions. And those that do achieve great things, spiritually, mentally, creatively, etc. They've trained themselves. Once they've done the work so that they know that what they're doing is rooted in their vision. They're connected to their spirit. I'm not talking about just going out there and being a type A person. They've done the inner work. They've laid the foundation. They know who they are and why they are alive, at least a little bit. And they know what they're meant to do and go for. Okay? They're not just chickens running around with their heads cut off. It's rooted in something real. That's key. But then, regardless of what they feel, they do the work. Those are the individuals that change their life and make a difference in the world. So, this is about mastery. If you master this, if you get this, you really train yourself to just get up and do whatever you got to do, regardless of what you think, regardless of what you feel, regardless of what anybody else says you can or can't do, regardless of your current experience or conditions, you will change your life. I hear there's countless stories, whether it was Thomas Edison and he had this vision of a light bulb and he created a plan to start working it, and he just kept failing and failing and failing over 10,000 times. He had every excuse to stop working the plan, but he kept working it. If he didn't work it, we'd all be in the dark possibly. Colonel Sanders, not that I'm a big Kentucky Fried Chicken advocate, but here was a guy with an idea for a chicken recipe, and he had a plan, and he began to work his plan, and he got rejected over 1,000 times just to try his recipe. And so he didn't let the depression, I'm sure, that he felt, the regret, the rejection, all of that, he didn't let that stop him. He didn't let his feelings stop him. He had to wake up a lot of days feeling like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Right? So it doesn't matter what you're feeling when it comes to really working the plan. You do it anyway, and I'm telling you, miracles will happen. Okay, so just to recap, you create a vision. You take the time to work, to really excavate your soul, to discover what that vision is. And you take the time to activate that visionary vibration with the morning visualization radiation exercise, so that you start to really feel like you are the person who's living this vision. And that will give you the fuel to then work the plan, start creating the plan. And you make time to create the plan. So after you're done with this video, this training, if you even want to just stop it, I want you to take the time, if you haven't already done this, to schedule time to work your plan, to create your plan and to work your plan. Make it a top priority. And then do the work we've talked about. And then, of course, work the plan, no matter how you're feeling. Okay, so I know it's a little bit redundant, but we really need to hear this over and over again. And I wouldn't be harping on this so hard if I didn't know that this was the difference maker. How many people have how many books on their shelves they've never read, or they've read but haven't practiced? How many people have programs they've bought but they've never worked? This really is the difference maker. And you've taken on this challenge to work with me. Perhaps you've bought a program, you're one of my coaching clients. I'm giving you the tools. You've got the tools. And you may be discouraged or disappointed with your results at various points, but what I can tell you is that they are directly determined by how much you practice. And so this is about practice. It's about doing it no matter how you feel. If you do that, if you just work the plan, if you just practice these tools, you will break through those thresholds and you will make real change in your life and finally take your life to the next level. But it's time now, it's finally your time to really work that plan, to really create that plan and to work it no matter what. You get me? All right. So go out there today and really take time to get to know who you really are and to live your life to the fullest. And as always, stay